Hillsborough, and I'm speaking to a preeminent dealer in antique scientific instruments. Is that the right way to do it?
That's
to express
correct.
it?
Scientific instruments.
So what is your name? You have such a beautiful accent.
Lynn Harding.
Lynn Harding. And that's, how do you spell Lynn? Because there's a lot of different ways.
Lynn.
O-Y-N-N. And Harding, there's nothing tricky about that,
Nothing
right?
tricky about that.
And what part of the world are you from?
I was originally born in England.
Uh-huh. And where in England?
In England, born in Bedford.
Bedford.
Lived in Bexley in Kent. And
I thought I
worked
detected
in
some Bexley in there.
Yeah.
And so I see that you specialize in something that, now I consider this kind of an unusual thing for a woman to specialize in, but when I talk to you about it, your feminist instincts came out and said, well, how dare you? That sounds sexist. This is perfectly acceptable for women to be doing this. So
Yes,
you don't think it's unusual for a woman to be doing all these kind of things? Who are your customers, would you say? The gender of your customers?
Predominantly men. And then a small amount of women.
Okay, well maybe that's why I came to that conclusion.
For sure.
Now, why do you have such an interest in this stuff, since you have devoted a portion of your life to it?
Probably because I grew up. My father was a builder.
He was a builder. Well, when you say he was a builder,
construction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so I grew up going with him to many of the job sites.
Uh-huh.
So I had an interest in him.
And so you saw some of the tools that he used?
Like that, yeah.
Like, what are those things called when you look at through a kind of a telescope in order to get,
Surveying transit, maybe?
Maybe that might be.
Level. Uh-huh.
A level.
Yeah.
And so then how did you get into the business of selling these things?
I used to open up my area first off when I left college was basically going into international marketing.
Uh-huh.
And from that I went into retail and publicity and advertising. And eventually I ended up in this country opening up stores for international companies.
Uh-huh.
Most of these were stores for men, and so I was involved in negotiating the real estate, in building the store, and these were high-end stores. So you had a couple here in San Francisco, one on Union Square and one in the financial district. And as it was a European store, I had the window trimmers do a European idea that many of them do over there, and that was put into the windows some of the old instruments or things of interest to men.
Uh-huh. About what year would you say that was?
This was in the 70s and 80s.
Okay, so in the 70s and 80s, and so then you...
Then, from that, the men started to ask to buy the items in the window display.
Uh-huh. So they would see these antique instruments, and so then you got the idea that there is an interest.
There's a market.
Uh-huh.
And there definitely is in Europe an interest and a market for this. So I ended up...
So where was the first show that you did?
The first show that I did was the Dorothy Emerson Santa Monica show.
Ah. And what year would you say that was?
This would have been 25 years ago.
Okay, I was probably at that show.
Yeah. And also the Hillsborough.
The Hillsborough, where we are today.
That followed on.
I see. So where do you find these things?
They come from all over America and all over Europe.